superpower figures were one of the coolest in the 80s that you could find, including Hawkman here. Today we look at the price guide for some of these figures, mint on card. Alright, first up we have Parademom. This one came out in 1985, mint on card, Series 2. You can see this card is a bit beat up, clear bubble though. It feels like these bubbles don't yellow quite as much as the Kenner's Star Wars figures, not quite sure why. I mean, some of them definitely do, but a lot of them feel like they're more clear than the others. So yeah, this one sold for about $220, almost $220, plus shipping, so it was like a $240. So with the clear bubble, that seems borderline. I've seen these go for a little under $200. The cards are kind of beat up, but this one's not exactly mint condition either. So you know, I think this is a little above average. Could probably go for lower. I would say more like in the 175 range if you could find it. And granted, that card might be, you know, slightly beat up too. But yeah, I think it's ballpark. Now we have Martian Manhunter. This card seems a little bit better than the Parademom. There doesn't seem to be too many creases there. Relatively flat, maybe a few dings along the sides there. Very, very clear bubble. This one went for $160 plus shipping from the same seller. I think, again though, this seems slightly high, and I don't know if people are paying for the bubble clarity. I mean, it's clearly not graded, and a lot of these superpowers aren't. Everyone seems rather infatuated with grading for the Star Wars figures, but not so much the superpowers, and I guess that's just kind of speaks to, you know, the type of collectors out there for the superpowers. You think they'd be kind of one and the same with Star Wars, but not all the time. Star Wars is definitely more widespread and obsessive about condition, I think. So yeah, 160 plus shipping, 180. Yeah, I would probably maybe about $30 to $40 over market, or above what I would probably pay for that. But you know, not a horrendous price. Now we have a Brainiac. This one went for $215 plus $435 shipping, so $220 total. I gotta tell you, that seems like a really, really, really good deal, especially since this is a very nice card, apparently. Looks pretty good. So $220 seems like a steal. I mean, most of these go for over $100, just, you know, out of the packaging and in good condition. So to see this on the card going for $220, you know, would I like to play lower? Sure. But I would say that that's pretty fair of a price right now for the current market. So whoever got this one, congratulations, because I've seen them listed and sell for much, much more than this. Now we have an Aquaman on card. This is a desirable figure. You know, loose, you know, it probably goes, you know, $60, $80, sometimes $100. That trident is very hard to find. So to see one on card is exciting. $280 basically went for. It seems like it was listed for about $300. They went for an offer and knocked off about $20. Not bad. I would say that's definitely market. A lot of listings are hovering right around that mark, and you know, it turns out the buyer got like a slight discount on this one. But you know, maybe could have gone lower, because that bubble, you know, like I said, a lot of superpowers bubbles, they have a lot of yellowing. So to see this kind of yellowing and to go for the price that a lot of these are going for without the yellowing, so it's a market deal, but you know, maybe it could have gone for lower. Now we have a red tornado. It went for $128 plus $30 shipping, so $160. And honestly, although it definitely has a clear bubble, that card is pretty beat up. Kind of you know, curled edges, some clear creases down the middle. Left side is all curled up, so this card's pretty beat up. And for it to go that high with shipping included, you know, that feels like a kind of a high price. I've seen these are, you know, right around $135. So initially, you know, first blush is like that's right around market. But you know, you include the shipping and you're paying more. And I've seen cards in better condition go go for about that same price. So I would have preferred if that person got this for maybe around 100. Here's an Orion figure. This went for $148 plus $12 shipping, so $160. And considering the condition, it's unpunched. I know a lot of people care about that. I don't specifically. And granted, the bubble is a little yellowed, but wow, $160. I would say it's a steal. I mean, you're almost paying that for it loose. So for it just to go on a pretty decent looking card, unpunched, a little yellowing on the bubble. This is a pretty good price. I would say most of them are selling above $200, maybe in the $240 range. So whoever got this did well. Whoever got this really did well. Next up, we have a Green Lantern, and the key thing here to point out is that this is actually on a Canadian card, so a little bit more rare than the normal one. So this was listed as $299 for about $300 from the same seller, Toy Vault, as the previous one was Aquaman. And here the bubble is a little yellow, just like Aquaman. The card looks exceptional. So $280 for this is a decent deal. I know that not too familiar with the Canadian cards, but the regular cards probably going around for like $230, $240. So maybe, possibly the rarity of the Canadian card up the price here. Someone specifically wanted to collect those. So here, expect to pay about $280, maybe $300 for one of these. Next up, we have a Penguin mint on card, and $170.50 plus shipping. This feels, especially with the bend and the crease at the top of the card, this feels like a little bit of an overpay. I feel like ballpark for this one's probably more around like $140, $150. But the bubble here is very clear. I think it's a fairly desirable type of figure. Everyone loves the Penguin, everyone loves the Joker, but they aren't that uncommon to find. So I think you should definitely shop around. Anything over $150 might be a bit of an overpay, so keep that in mind. And here is the Penguin's counterpart, the Joker. A lot of people's favorite figure. A lot of people love this iteration of the Joker. But this is also a lesson in kind of condition and preference. So this went for $200. You can see in the right hand side, just above the little bubble there, above the Joker kind of comic book bubble, there is definitely some chipping there of the card, but it is unpunched. The bubble is super clear, and the rest of the condition of the card is pretty good outside of that kind of scratching of the bubble on the right hand side. So that's $200. That's what you get for $200. On the other hand, this one went for $68. It's not punched, clear bubble, maybe a little ding in it, a little dent, but the card is very beat up. Not a ton of creasing per se, but it kind of looks like maybe it got wet at some point, some sort of damage. Like, let's check out the back here too. Let's check out this. Like, look at that. That's pretty gnarly looking. But honestly, compared to the front's pretty good, whereas the back looks horrendous. But, what are you going to display? And honestly, the front isn't too bad. So would I take the $68 version? I would, but not everyone would. So there you have it. And here we have Superman for $82 plus shipping. So just under $100 here, around $94. The card's a little warped, looks like, but overall decent. Unpunched, again, if you like that sort of thing. The big thing here that stands out to me is the bubble, very yellow, unlike a lot of the ones that we've seen. So obviously that probably kept the price here down. This was also a Canadian card. But I think I've seen these go for anywhere up to $200. and then there was, you know, some for $120, $150. So $82 if you're willing to live with the yellow bubble. You just want it on card. Pretty good deal in my mind. Now we have everyone's favorite Batman. This is the 23-back Superman cape offer. I'm not sure if that one's more desirable, if people are looking for that one more than the others, but the winner paid $400 plus shipping, so almost $420 here. It's certainly a nice looking card, unpunched, oh no, not unpunched, but clear bubble, you know, card looks flat, no creases. So would I pay that much money? I wouldn't. I'd try to hold out for probably something under $400, maybe around the $300 mark, maybe even $250. But, you know, again, that would probably be an exceptional deal. But I do feel like you can get some pretty good deals with these superpower figures if you shop around. And now we have Flash, probably the most common figure, or pretty close to it. He's mint on card with an unpunched card back, and very clear bubble, $120 plus shipping. That's a decent price. Obviously, this is a pretty nice example. But again, these are around. You can find them. And maybe I saw one beat up example go for about $40. So don't pull the trigger too quickly on these. You can certainly find a deal, and if you could find one under $100 and, you know, maybe you're willing to live with a few dings here and there, I would definitely try and do that, because these are around quite often. And here we have Mr. Miracle. This guy's a pretty popular figure. You know, not incredibly hard to find, but loose, he's very hard to find with all his accessories, cape, and the manacles. You know, $340 here plus shipping is probably ballpark. Obviously, you can see that it's punched. There has some yellowing to the bubble, but this is one that a lot of people want and look for, and, you know, it's probably not as prevalent as some of the, you know, Series 1 figures. So, you know, $340, $350, you know, with shipping, that's probably not an overpay. That's probably right around ballpark. So I think that's all for today. I will be back with more price guides for these superpower figures. I'm going to keep an eye on them, try and do like maybe bi-monthly, both loose and mint on cards, and, you know, try and keep everyone happy with their wallets. You know, try and collect economically as best as we can. So please like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon.